Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are excited to have Sabastian joining us here again, our professional of the year, the founder and creator of Nobelia.org, the way of impeccability and Mourness Project. He's here helping change so many people's lives as an author, as a poet, as an amazing man who really believes in mourness and helping so many with his self-change
Yes.
and life-changing programs. Hi, Sil. How are you?
Yes. Hello, Jill. Hello, Jill. Happy to be back. Happy to be back. Happy to be here with you. We had a nice summer
Aww.
break. Very good. Yes.
It's going
You enjoyed yours as
fantastic.
well?
Absolutely. Some vacation, some fun. Absolutely. And yourself,
Yes.
darling?
Yeah, same. Exactly. It was very good. Recuperation also. So everything just most excellent.
Well, we're excited
I'm
to
just
have you
happy
here.
to be back. Just so much going on. So much going on.
Tell
So
us,
I
fill us
thought
in.
today, since we've had a break, I'll kind of do a recap,
Sure.
just to connect again for those who
Yeah.
are haven't been here before, just to let them know more or less what's going on. Not more or less, but just to recap on everything that I do. So you mentioned a few things, writing and being an author and a poet, but also I'm also a life coach. Now, it's a term that I'm not that particularly fond of using because what I do and how I do it is very different. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned mourners, and mourners is a big deal. It's a term that comes from me, and I use it as mourners culture. Really, there's a whole depth behind mourners, right? It's a different way of living, and it's about living according to a
Yeah.
different paradigm. We live in the superiority paradigm, which is all about hierarchy and ranking, and pulling up down those above you and pushing down those below you, and looking to get status and recognition and all of this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And always competing with everybody. But it's all about relatively being better, not about absolute goodness, or not about goodness that or value that's actually real. It's all relative. As long as you're a little bit better than somebody else, that's okay. But if I'm better than rubbish, then I'm just a little bit less rubbish. You see, it doesn't really make a difference. So it's a very false culture. Not only that, but it doesn't really provide much inner value. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting all your benefit, all the value is just from that relative betterness, but it doesn't necessarily make you happy, and it doesn't necessarily make you generous and kind and considerate and courteous and thoughtful and discerning and sensible. All of these things doesn't necessarily make that at all, and
Yeah.
actually seldom does. Not only that, but in terms of stress, oh my goodness, what a stressful way to live, right? And
So
also,
true.
it's very inefficient, right? If you look at, like, just take lions, for instance, right? Everybody wants to be a lion. Hell no, not me. Thank you very much. You can keep being a lion. Go and actually look at the day-to-day living of a lion, right? It's all about that hierarchy. You're
Yeah.
always fighting with everybody. What do the lions do when they kill a zebra or a buffalo or whatever? They fight over the carcass.
Uh-huh.
Absurd. It's absurd, right? I mean, and the alpha lion gets the lion's share. Literally, that's where the term comes from, right? And then it goes down the pecking order. And if you're way down at the bottom, and let's say it's maybe a smaller deer or something, you might not get to eat. You may
It's true.
literally go hungry. Yeah, it really sucks. But think of the foolishness of those lions. How stupid are they? If they were to collaborate and say, hey, you know what, let's work together. I mean, they do kind of a little bit when they do a hunt, right? But not really and truly. But if they were more community minded and they had a mourners mindset, they'd say, well, why don't we just go and do another kill, and there'll be more
Yeah.
than plenty for everybody, and we don't need to fight over this. We can share evenly. And there's plenty game out there. There's more game than there are lions. So it's like
Yeah.
there's more than enough, right? If we learn to collaborate. And in other words, if they didn't have a me first, right? That's it. It's just I don't need to get what I need, and then to hell with the rest, right?
Ah,
So it's a pathetic mindset, and it's all determined by that hierarchy. The alpha lion, he's just interested in getting himself satisfied. When he's satisfied, well, to hell with the rest. It's pathetic. So, but when you're doing collaboration, though, It's much better. In the African wild dogs, they're not very big, but they're the most successful hunters in Africa because they collaborate and they work in team. And also they have babysitters. Right? Babysitter stays behind, and when they make a kill, they'll take food back for the babies. And the
Who's
babysitter
the
too.
babysitter? The mom? I didn't know this.
Oh, anybody. It's not just the moms, or it's not even
Really?
females, male, female, doesn't matter. Whoever stays behind, they
Oh,
bring
wow.
food back for that person, for
Didn't
that
know that.
that individual, that wild dog. So this is collaboration, right? This
Yeah,
is just
working
and
together.
sharing. It's a different culture. Now that's very rudimentary, but if you look at what's behind you, right? Evidence of civilization. How did all those things there in your background, right? The bridge and all those buildings. How did they get to be built?
I,
Collaboration.
you're right. My goodness, I don't even know how they do all these things, right? It's fascinating.
Collaboration, right?
But yeah,
It's not something you can do just one person. And if you were to try and say, well, like back in the old days, I mean, they forced people, with slaves and all that to, like, like the pyramids get built. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort, which is one of the reasons that slavery, even though there are benefits to it, yes, it's also not very cost effective. Yeah.
hmm
So it's not a very sensible thing. Forget the moral issue, but it's just not a sensible system, right? It doesn't really work. When you have people collaborating and voluntarily wanting to do things, of course, this is 100 zillion times better, beside being
yeah,
morally better. So collaboration makes all the difference. And when you have this understanding now, when you have a mourners culture and we are working together, which is not just cooperating, but collaborating. Right. This is
okay.
a mourners to cooperating because I want to help you. I want to share. I'm not doing it just for my benefit. And you see this in teams sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Even though they're working on the same project, they're still competing with each other. It's just a pain and it's tiresome. Get over it, people. Share freely. And, you make everybody better and yourself, right? You're interested in the moreness, not just your own little petty stuff, right? So when we get past petty ego and we look at bigger picture and we start to think bigger picture, it changes. So that's just, where I'm coming from in everything I do, not just in the writing, but also in when I'm doing things like, well, it falls in the category of life coaching, but I don't call it coaching. At least I don't think it's coaching because with coaching, a coach kind of still tells you what to do. I will never tell anybody what to do. I'll share options, plenty options, but you need to choose, not me, right?
by the way, Nobelia.org.
Yeah.
I don't even think we established that. We're talking here to
There you
Syl.
go.
Just want to let you know
Yes.
how we contact him.
Nobelia.org.
Go for it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yes.
You're on a roll,
And you
as
can you
always.
can go nobelia.org/connect, and it'll take you to a special page that has all my connecting links. You can find me on Facebook or wherever you want to connect to me. Right. So there's even a number that you can call in that you can, when I do lives on Facebook as well. I haven't done now for the summer, but I'll start again probably today. I'll be taking a break there too. Uh, so this point of when I work with people and I have programs, right? The main one is called Way of Impeccability. It's a very, very comprehensive, detailed life change and self change program. This is serious stuff, right? This is if you're now really interested in changing, actually changing your life, not just thinking you're going to change, not just believing you change, not just wishing you're going to change, not just getting a bunch of band-aid things which make you feel good for a week or two or a weekend or a month or whatever, and then it all no, actual, real lasting change. That's very important. That lasting change. Now, I say lasting, you say lasting, but I'll say it both ways, right? With my accent. But yeah, lasting change or lasting change. This is very key. So you want to really get down to the roots of what is going on inside you, your core beliefs, your core understandings, your core perceptions, your core awarenesses. If you change those, everything else changes, right? You got to come from the top down or the root if you want to take it from the bottom up, either way. But you got to get to the things that affect other things, right? The issue behind the issue. Yeah, this is very important. For instance, if we believe in superiority and it's like, oh, I've got to be better than everybody else and I've got to shine and look, well, that's going to affect, that's your core agenda. And that's going to affect how you live, how you act,
Yeah.
how you behave. But if your core agenda shifts and you find an alternative, that's very different. Now, what I do is I present options, choices, mechanisms, and especially what I do is provide tools. tools for living, tools for change, and it's tools for deliberate living. Wow. What did he
Oh,
just say? Not just
yeah.
tools for living, but tools for deliberate living. This is the focus and the purpose and the point and the agenda of Way of Impeccability, to get you to live deliberately. When we live deliberately, everything changes. Everything changes. I mean, just think about it, right? When you've been in a mode, in a modality, in a vibe, in a feeling where you are deliberately doing something, that's when you're alive. That's when you're really connected. That's when stuff matters, when you're being deliberate. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, when you're being deliberate, you choosing. You're being truly deliberate. You choosing, Jill, not somebody else, not your culture, not your family, not your
Me.
environment, not your habits, not your beliefs that you just
Mm-hmm.
assimilated and didn't even realize you had. When you're being deliberate, it's you. It's you. And that's what being alive is. Being alive is really synonymous with being deliberate. The more deliberate we are, more alive we are. But we need tools for deliberate living, right? We need
Yeah.
tools. There's many of them. And one of the principal key tools is learning to deal with habits. We have so many habits that we're not even aware of, right?
Yeah. Good
And
and
it's
bad.
good and bad, exactly. But even good habits, when you have a habit, even say a good habit, what is the consequence of that? Habits are deliberate unawareness,
Okay.
right? They're deliberate
Interesting.
unawareness behaviors,
Yeah.
right? A habit allows you to do something without being kind of fully aware of it. So even good habits, they reduce your awareness. So we can have habits, but we can call them, I call them capital H habits, which is a habit that, yes, I do regularly, but I do it
Mm-hmm.
with choice and I do it deliberately. I'm aware that this is something that I am doing habitually. So it's like, well, is it really a habit or not? Well, it's habit simply because it's being repeated, but it's being chosen every single time. And I'm doing it with conscious awareness. You say, yeah, but doesn't that kind of detract from the value of the habit? No, because I'm being alive and I'm choosing every single time. Because, of course, a habit is really wonderful 99 times out of 100. But that 100th time when it's not appropriate, that's when it kills you or gets you into trouble. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah.
need to be aware that, yes, they work in general, but when they're not appropriate and you still do it and you not realize it, that's when it gets you into trouble. Right?
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
We don't want
I'm
trouble.
talking about like real literal trouble. If you look at people who get into accidents, or especially victims of crime, for instance, right? They're doing the same things. And then they'll always say, by the time I realized what was going on, it was too late because it's kind of what I was always doing and it was so usual, right? And that's what I'm saying. So, right, it's not a factor in our lives in general. Those are very exceptional. But we can get into trouble in very simple ways, just in our relationships, in our work, in our jobs, just by doing things that are uh, following a pattern. And that when things change, we're not able to adapt, right? So we need to have that ability to be appropriate. And appropriateness means we need to be flexible and fluid and adaptive, yes, and have that awareness to be able to shift because life doesn't stay the same, right? It changes all the time. I mean, you might as well say life is change, yeah. And if you are not connected to change, at some point you're going to find yourself left behind. And that's difficult, especially for most people. If you start to feel behind, you start to resent change because change now is going to put the pressure on you. You're going to be where in your bubble from back then, and change is saying, no, you need to change. But you're so far behind that change becomes stressful and onerous. And that is a big deal for people. And then they start to resist change. And of course, it never works, right? They want to wind the clock back. They want to go back in time, all of this. It doesn't work. It cannot work. It cannot work, right? Because change is moreness. And who wants to give up moreness, right? Growth. We growing, we evolving, we adapting, we shifting, we moving. So we have to learn how to be able to change and change fluidly, change easily, change without stress, right? And those are the tools of living, the tools of deliberate living. This is what Way of Impeccability is all about. Plus, there's
Plus.
another big deal. Oh, there's always more. With me, there's always more, right? Now, we don't want to just live deliberately because I could be a deliberate criminal, which maybe make me a good criminal, yes? They say, well, no, I don't want to be a deliberate criminal.
No,
Huh?
no, you
So
don't. No, no.
impeccability is also about living in such a way that you will never,
Amber.
ever have one single regret. Not
How
possible.
did you get all this wiseness, Sil? Every time we speak, you're always teaching me something,
You
let
know
alone our
how?
listeners.
You
But
know how,
really,
Joe? By applying the two fundamental
yeah,
core tools of way of impeccability. Just two
yeah,
of them. Just two. First one is thinking things through to the end.
yeah.
See, when you write it, it's all with hyphens and each one is capitalized, thinking things through. But to the end is all caps because you got to shout it. It's thinking things through to the end, right? It's very emphasized. That to the end makes all the difference, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've been doing this all my life since age 10. But, at age 11, I was thinking about death, really, really thinking
Yeah.
about death,
Ah,
just everything about death. The takeaway that I had from that was that time is precious, right? Time is absolutely precious. So as a consequence, I was thinking about things because at age 10, I started on a journey of understanding what awareness was, right?
yeah.
It's a long story and I've shared it before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out what awareness was. And at first, my first encounter with this understanding of awareness was to be absolutely horrified at how unaware I am. So my whole life has been living with an acute awareness of my unawareness, which, of course, the more you become aware of your unawareness, the more sensible and the more you learn, the more you grow, the more tools you develop. So it's very useful. So you ask how? It's just a lifetime of paying attention to this, right? And thinking it through to the end. So what happened was I was thinking things through, and then I was like, wow, okay, that's good, but I never finished the thinking. So, the next day or the week later, I said, wow, you know what? I was thinking about this before, and now I'm thinking about it again. It's still unresolved. Yeah, because I didn't finish it to the end. When you take it to the end, you resolve it. Now, that doesn't mean you solve it, it just means you resolve it. In other words, take a detective, right? And they have a case. If they follow every single lead and they come to a dead end, they've been absolutely impeccable. They've done every bit of research. They've followed through on every lead. They've gone and interviewed whoever they can. They've done absolutely everything they can, and they come to that dead end. They put that file. It becomes a cold case, right? It is resolved for the detective. It's not solved, but it's resolved. Yes. The detective is internally resolved. I've done everything I can. I can't do anymore. Fine. It's a cold case now. If something new comes up, then we'll open it again and carry on. But in the meantime, I'm at peace. I'm okay with it. I'm resolved. See, that's resolved rather than solved. The two are very different. Yeah. So when we apply this with our thinking, when we go all the way to that point where I say, I can't think any further, right? Fine. I might not have solved the issue, but I'm resolved. If some new evidence comes, then I'll open up this thinking again. But typically, when we think things through to the end, we have resolution and solution. Yes, when we're really thorough, right? So the key is somebody said, but how do you know when you get to the end? It's when you ask, and then what? And what's next? And there's no answer to what's next. What else? Right? When you have, there are no more steps to go. Right? And this is very key. So that's, you asked how I get the sensibility. I don't think that I've got anything special going for me, except these two qualities. The first one
Ah,
is just being really, really thorough, right?
yes.
Which is thinking things through to the end, thoroughness, right? And being diligent and being disciplined to
Mm-hmm.
be thorough. And those are the tools of way of impeccability. Yes.
Yep.
So one of the definitions of impeccability is to be thorough, to be scrupulous, to be diligent, to be
Mm-hmm.
conscientious, right? And conscientious also in the full meaning of conscientious.
Would
But
be.
that's what. First tool, thinking things through to the end. Second tool is perspective shifting to multiple perspectives, right? Multiple. Not just going from one to the other, right? In other words, going from black to white and from white to black. Yeah. Where are all the colors, people? Yeah. I hear people say, oh, I'm a black and white thinker. And I say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And they're like, huh? I say, yeah, you're missing out on all the colors. And they say it with great pride that I'm a black and white thinker. Yes. But it's a sad reality. There's very seldom just 2 points to anything. When you start to really look at things and start to develop this ability to perspective shift to multiple perspectives, suddenly the world changes and suddenly the world opens up. So to give an example, right? If I want to look at view a house, but the realtor didn't leave me the key, and I've got to look through the windows to see the house, right? To figure it out. If I only look through one or two windows, am I going to get a good idea of what the inside of that house is? No, no, no. I
No.
have to look through. I have to look through multiple windows. Now, do I have to look through all the windows? No, not necessarily. Maybe depending on the house, but typically you just have to look through enough of them, and then your brain will be able to put together the floor plan. Right? It'll be able to. It has enough data and it puts it together. And okay, I've got an idea of the inside of the house. Right? That's the magic of perspective shifting. It to multiple perspectives. It enables you to see the greater whole, the greater truth that you're now putting together from all the information. Right? I don't have to have all the data, right? So
Mm-mm.
I don't have to know everything. I just have to know enough to be able to construct the truth from the data. So perspective shifting to multiple perspectives is an incredibly powerful tool for connecting to moreness, because that's another definition of what moreness is. The
Yep.
moreness is that floor plan of the house, which I couldn't access from outside directly, not from one perspective, but through all of it. I'm now getting a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. In other words, that's moreness, right? It's a fantastic thing, moreness. So this perspective shifting to multiple perspectives, it enables us to connect to truth and to understanding and value that isn't ordinarily accessible to us. But through perspective shifting to multiple perspectives, it is an incredible value. And of course, the ability to perspective shift, it's creativity as well, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you
Wow.
engaged in anything creative, that's it. When you learn to perspective shift to multiple perspectives, you get this alternative ways of doing things, other angles, other options. Now, those other options may or may not be of value, but sometimes they are, of course. It's having it, and that's the key, right? You know what your choices are. And whenever we're doing something, if you have all the choices available to you, you can choose with full awareness. That's incredibly powerful, right? So these are all simple tools that we want, and we can. I put it up in ADU, right? So ADU stands for awareness, discernment, and understanding. First, you need to be aware. Oh, I need to learn. I need to grow. Then you need to develop discernment, because if you just take things on the surface, you're going to really, really, really kind of get into trouble, right? Because you're just going to be doing the bubble stuff. And you're not really going to get into depth. Yes. I mean, it's like just taking any person in any relationship. If you just go with a very first surface meeting, and the surface that they present, and you base your relationship on that, well, sorry, but
Yeah.
from dating in the past,
Yeah.
that's not going to work, right? So we need discernment. We need to see what's behind. We need to see what motivates the person, what drives
Yeah.
them, what's important to them, what their beliefs are, all the stuff, right? Now, when you are in relationships, forget about likes. Go into what matters. Whether somebody has the same favorite color as you, or the same favorite song or food or whatever, I can make up a list of favorites that match yours exactly, and I'll say, oh, you know what? That belongs to a serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Yeah. So
gosh. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So this whole idea where people, you see it in the movies, yeah, and they have all these likes. Oh, now suddenly we're compatible. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Just because you have the same likes don't make you compatible. Like, you're compatible with a serial killer? Really? You have the same likes. You can go look up lists of serial
Yeah.
killer likes, right? You can go and find it online if you want to. So what matters, you need to have the same core beliefs. You have to have the same motivation, the same drive, the things that really matter to you.
Yeah.
For instance, if you don't care about animals and your spouse really does, that's a problem. If you
That
kind of like,
is.
well, you don't care, whatever happens, and so what? But the other person, like, they really get bothered with things that happen. It's a fundamental point of internal difference. So you have to really pay attention to those things, right? So this is discernment, getting down into having the ability to see past the surface, discernment, seeing the depths. And then you have to have understanding, because now you've got to use this discernment. You got to put it together, and you got to go take things through to the end. Perspective shift to multiple perspectives. You get to have capital U understanding. You really get it. You really know. You don't just think you know, but you do know. You really understand. Now, there's one final step. It's actually ADUA. Because you got to take that awareness, that discernment, that understanding, and you've got to apply it. Because without application, it's all meaningless. Nobelia.org. Check me out. Nobelia.org. Check me out. I'm watching the time. So that was a good time.
You are on fire, as always. By the way, speaking of fire, you're in Arizona. How hot is it there?
28 degrees right now, so not too bad.
Wow.
Yeah, but it has been getting up into the 40s, like 41 degrees.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So
well, we are
however, I have a friend on the other side of the world, and yesterday it went up to 49 degrees Celsius. Now I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's like that's probably like 110, 112, 115, somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's absurdly hot, 49 degrees, absurdly hot.
Oh my goodness. Well, we appreciate your time here. As always, Mornis, reach out, Nobelia.org. And thank you for your time, Sil. Pleasure to have you back.
Pleasure. And anybody can connect to me. You know, I have openings. People can come and do the programs if they want to. So I'm available for all sorts of things, you know, not just the programs, but consulting, whatever. I call it personal consulting. I don't care for coaching. I like personal consulting better.
All right. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you. And you have a fantastic day. Looking forward to next week again, Sil. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye, Jill.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, you know, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.